Thank you for waiting. You will now be added to the conference.
This is Jay Freeman, and I'm once again recording this call.
Good morning. This is Aaron Jones from EOP. Morning, Jay.
Hi, this is Spencer Brandt with the IVCSD.
Hi, this is Bianca with CESA.
Morning, everybody. Deputy Schroeder here with the Sheriff's Department.
Hello, Melissa is on the call. If anybody else is, I don't know.
Hello, Melissa. I'm once again recording this call.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, there's several on right now.
Oh, great. Who wants to say their names, and I'll write them down? That seems like it's working.
Aaron Jones.
Hi.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, EOP. Hi.
Thank you.
Kim Equinoa from the Dean of Students Office.
Thanks for calling in, Kim.
Hi, Melissa. Leonore.
Leonore, heard you. Who else was that?
Spencer Brandt, IVCSD.
Hi, Spencer.
Gina's here from Jones' office.
Cool. Hi, Gina.
Derek Marzano from UCPD.
Awesome.
Gina Sawaya, Food Not Bombed.
Oh, great. Hi, Gina. I sent you pricing. Sorry. Who was that after Gina? Or just talking? Great.
Hello, this is Pamela with the Pardell Center.
Hi, Pamela.
Hi, this is Bianca Orozco with CESA.
Hi, Bianca. Awesome.
Hi.
Can I get the bulk assistance to the bulk section, please? Assistance to the bulk section. Thank you.
Sorry. I'll leave myself unmuted until the call starts, and then I will mute for all of those weird co-op announcements.
Deputy Schroeder here with the Sheriff's Department.
Hi, Justin. We'll wait like 5 minutes and let other people call in, and then we can get rolling. I hope that at least one person is taking this call sitting outside on their patio right now, because it was so pretty.
This is Aaron. You better believe it.
Oh, good. That makes me happy. You can picture me under the glorious lights of the back office of the co-op. Who just called in?
This is Jonathan from IVCSD.
Hi, Jonathan.
Oh.
For those also that just called in, Jay Freeman is on the call, and the call is being recorded, just so that you know. I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes. I think Joanna from Health and Wellness is going to call in with an update, so I wanted to wait to see if she calls in before we start. Hi, who just called in?
Oh, sorry, this is Joanna.
Hi, Joanna. I'm good. Who did call in? Okay. I think we can just get started. I know people call in a little bit later, but in the interest of keeping the call shorter and honoring time, I just wanted to welcome everybody to our weekly IVCN, mostly COVID, but not only COVID update call. There's about 12 of us on the call. We have Gina from the county, Jay Freeman, Aaron from EOP, Cam McQueen from UCSB Dean of Students, Leonore from St. George Youth Center, Spencer, IVCSD, Derek, UCPD, Gina Celaya from Food Not Bombs, Pamela, Pardall Center, Bianca from STESA, Justin from Foot Patrol, Jonathan from IVCSD, and Joanna from Health and Wellness. Did I miss anyone that wants to be identified? Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to keep the format the same. It seems like it's been working, so I wanted to just open this up for larger updates. We've been starting with county updates, if that works with everybody, and then Joanna from Health and Wellness has an update about mask distribution. So if we want maybe Gina to kick us off, does that sound good?
That works for me.
That works for me too. Great.
Yeah. All right.
Go for it, Gina.
I hope everybody is doing okay and managing in this time that is weird and unprecedented, I know, for a lot. So a couple of updates I think that are worth making. One thing, let me just start with the governor launched a portal for volunteers. The state needs lots of volunteers, and our county certainly does as well, in responding or meeting the moment of this crisis. And so if anybody is healthy and well and has time available, I would encourage you, and as I'm saying this, I'm trying to find the actual website for the state. You can register, and it can help regionally distribute you to be able to help and volunteer in different capacities. And so as usual, if I don't waste time, I'll just compile that and send it to Melissa to send out to the network after. Related to that, and this goes into the next topic, I'm going to talk about homeless, houseless issues in our county and some of the steps the county's taken to help house folks and bring resources and to sort of meet the moment of this crisis. And I'll start it by saying, as we develop more sites, hotel rooms or different sort of congregate type facilities for houseless, we need volunteers at the county. And so in the email that I'll send to Melissa to send out to the network, I'll have a link where you can go to sign up or indicate if you're willing and able. One of the things that a very tangible thing is, as we open more sort of shelter space or bed space facilities, we need help for trained volunteers who can help do intake. And so that's a critical need for the county right now. So I'll send out some more information on that. I want to just talk really quickly what some of the questions our office gets the most is about what are we doing for the homeless in our county. And so I want to describe the process a little bit so that you guys are on the call sort of familiar and understand the framework of the county and what we are doing, and then I'm happy to take questions. So immediately after the stay-at-home orders came, the county was quite successful on a short time of opening a shelter in Santa Maria for 70 folks to be able to be under one roof, social distance, and to have a lot of their food needs met and different medical needs and whatnot. Unfortunately, in the haste to get that open, while the county was very successful in opening that shelter in a short time, identifying the location, whatnot, and getting houseless folks to take residence in there, it was just staffed by more or less file county employees who were not equipped to deal with the unique circumstances, lifestyles, or needs of folks. And so the model had a lot of problems that came up. And so then the county had to get the Good Samaritan shelter in Santa Maria to take over operations. They had to hire and train more staff. So that took like a week or so to be able to shift management of that shelter model to people who have expertise in how to work with this population. And so there was some good and some bad, some lesson learned that came out of that. So then the county needed to get a shelter set up in the South County, and they were going to move to the hotel model because the previous model, the Santa Maria model, had so many unanticipated challenges. And during this time, the state announced the Project Room Key, which encourages and would help fund for hotels to be used. Project Room Key encompasses both housing frontline medical workers, police, firefighters, doctors, nurses who maybe have had exposure to COVID or tested positive to COVID and don't want to return to their home setting. So there would be hotel rooms set up for them so that they can social distance and recover if they needed. And then the second part of Room Key had to do with housing houseless people. So it took a little bit to find a willing hotel in the South County. There was one identified in Santa Barbara. And then it took a little bit of time to get contracts in place, a legal contract, to bolster a little extra security on site, the facilities. Really importantly, to make sure that the housekeeping staff were properly trained and equipped with personal protective equipment, to make sure it was staffed with intake managers. And so there were a lot of logistics. It wasn't as simple as just saying, here's a hotel, here's an open hotel room, and here, houseless folks just, go to the hotel room. There were a lot of really nuanced, specific steps that had to be taken. So the good news is that facility opened just this week on Monday. It's got 70 beds. As of Monday, they had about 20 houseless folks willingly occupy those rooms. A lot have declined, and I think that was due to some of the folks working on this. And the way that folks have been identified, I think it's worth talking to you about, is through the, for those of you who work with houseless populations, you're probably familiar with the HMIS database. So this is something that counties have developed over the last few years, and that is any social worker, caseworker, maybe a doctor or nurse, people who work with houseless folks are now connected to this database, and they upload information. They get, the point-in-time filters into this, so that counties and cities and jurisdictions have an opportunity to really know their population and really have information so that if you're houseless and you maybe come to an emergency room and you're in the database, the emergency room folks know who maybe a caseworker is that you're working with or a social worker. And so that there's more coordination and a holistic approach to treating and helping that person. So the county went to the database and already knew who was over 65 and or who has comorbidities, that is other underlying health problems. And they immediately, even before the hotel opened on Monday, contact with folks and letting them know that the hotel rooms were about to open and encouraging them to move in. So that's how they're prioritizing and identifying folks to fill those hotel room beds. Now, because a lot have declined to go in there, there's still, my understanding as of today, there's still room available. So if you know of any houseless folks in IV who are willing to go indoors, who would be willing to go into a hotel in the Santa Barbara area and especially if they're 65 or older, and or if they have underlying health issues, please email me so I can get them in touch with the right people at the county to see if we can move them into housing. So the point is that there's hotel bed spaces available to any helpless folks in our county, whether or not they were in our database, and there is an immediate priority for those who are most vulnerable to what we know about COVID-19. So that's sort of, and then of course the county is looking for more, and we plan to open more hotel bed space in this model countywide. And I just want to mention that there are two competing schools of thought in general in this pandemic in working with and ensuring the safety of our helpless folks, and neither are wrong. And the county is kind of taking an approach on both tracks, and that is some folks in one school of thought is you've got to just get, hotel room space or, kind of congregate living space like like the Santa Maria model, and you got to just move these folks indoors. You got to get them inside and get them housed and get them services, and we're doing that. And there's another school of thought that says you can't force people to relocate or move, and actually uprooting people from where they identify as their home. And this is a very complex population. You're not going to have success if you do that first one, so you need to serve them on site where they're at. And the county's also doing that, and that's why we have hand washing stations and restrooms and showers for blessings, and why we're doing meal delivery service to meet folks where they're at. And neither is right and neither is wrong. It's really complex. And so as communities are presented with options, and Isla Vista, I believe you may be presented with a plan for how to respond to the needs of your houseless population and a growing population at that. Keep in mind that both models have ups and downs, and both models are, I think, in space trying to respond to very complex needs in an unprecedented pandemic. And so there's going to be both situations where we really try to steer folks into, hotels, and there's going to be situations where we really just try to bring services directly to where they're at and hope that and try to enforce social distancing as best we can to keep everybody safe. So that's sort of my update. Does anybody, that was a long one, I apologize, but I just wanted to give you guys sort of the context of the framework that we're operating in. Does anybody have any questions about this or anything else?
Gina, is it all right if I step in and ask a question? This is Jared Rourke.
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, so as you know, I'm a psychologist and also working with the houseless in IV through Food Not Bomb. Food Not Bombs, we've kind of expanded our meal service to 5 days a week, and we're not allowing gathering, but just giving out prepackaged meals. I am, as a volunteer working with the houseless, I am unfamiliar actually with the HMIS database. So as a professional, though, I'm wondering if that's a database that I could get granted access to, if that would be beneficial. We're definitely working with the houseless kind of on the front lines in IV. So that's one question. Regarding asking houseless individuals in IV if they'd like to stay in this hotel, I would speculate, I don't know how much information you're giving out to people about what it's like, but I wonder if part of the issue is that people don't know what to expect. It's kind of any kind of move at this point in time is kind of a scary move, perhaps. And I'm wondering, like, what services might be available, what expectations are there in terms of movement, freedom of movement, if people are going out to get their own food or if food is brought to them, those kinds of questions.
Yeah. So, Jenna, I don't have the full list of details, but there are expectations that are articulated beforehand. And for the most part, like, we are in a shelter in place, And so their food needs are met, their rooms are cleaned, their laundry is taken care of. I know there's processes in place for all of those, but there is an expectation that once you're there, you're only leaving, just like everyone else should only be leaving for essential services, perhaps a doctor's appointment, but certainly their food needs are met. And so that's why if you know, that's the general outline of it. We would need them to be in contact with the specialists. There's community intake that, the volunteers and staff explain this to them, and so that there's a clear understanding of sort of what those expectations are, which revolve around sort of you go into this and you're expected to social distance and shelter in place, just like the rest of the population. I can email you HMIS. I think it's mostly like shelters, healthcare workers. I don't know to what extent volunteers or things like that are allowed into the portal, because there's a lot of HIPAA protected information, and perhaps because of your job, you would be okay with that. So I'll just email you what I have about the HMIS. It's Homeless Management Information System.
Right. If there's any kind of HIPAA agreement form I need to sign as a professional, licensed professional, I'm willing to sign off on anything as well. But
I have no idea.
No, I understand. Is there someone else that I could speak with to get the further details about kind of what the living environment would be like?
Let me see if I can track that down, and then I'm happy to send it out over the network.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Gina. This is the other Gina, also from Food Not Bombed. I was wondering, as a follow-up to what Jeremy just asked, when people were identified to move into the hotel in North County, what kind of contact information was needed in order, as a Food Not Bombs volunteer, when we're talking to people, we could potentially ask for, are you interested in this? And then it's what are the next steps? Do we need their name? Do we need some way to reach them? If so, what was used in the past?
I would say for now, to manage, if an uptake to manage what our caseworkers have, you can just email me any preliminary, and then we can just over email try to make the link for what you know about the person. Obviously, the more you would know about an individual, I know this person, this is their first name, I have a relationship with this person because they come to Food Not Bombed. Preliminarily, I asked, would you be interested in being housing? They expressed yes, and then I would hand them, best make sure that the intake staff at the county could have the best chance to be able to follow up with that person, either through you, as someone who holds that relationship, or to them directly if able. So.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
This is Melissa. I have just a general 2 questions. One about the volunteering part of the conversation. If people sign up and they're not technically skilled in something like intake, is that something that training is provided for that kind of thing, or do you? Okay, yeah. That's great. Yeah, and then my other question, I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's one of the things that has, I'll say, sort of slowed down the open is everybody who's part of the system has to get some type of training, no matter what you're doing, especially in a world where we have to social distance. So
that makes sense. And then my other question, and it's maybe more just tracking, thinking about the houseless community. I know that the CSD had made an announcement about the community center also being open a couple of days a week for services. I'm wondering if there's anybody doing a meta tracking of all of this, and if we could have, or I can just make a quick Word document that we could post at the co-op, or some kind of passive advertising. We definitely have houseless folks that shop here, and in a way that we can just share this information also passively, whether it's about the hotel program or the services being provided at the community center. Is that weird? Some way to have some kind of portal, something with just the email address. If somebody reads it and I might be eligible for this, and there's not a person that has to be that connector, there's just some passive info. Yeah, Jonathan, if you guys want to help with that, maybe. I'm happy to print stuff at the co-op also.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're just saying, like, put a centralized list of resources for homeless folks. I mean, we kind of already tried to do that on our website, so we can just translate that into a flyer. And I know Emily Allen, I'm not sure if I heard if she's on the call, but they're designing a flyer just for, like, what we're doing, but maybe that flyer can become what you're describing too. So, and then they can link to our website for, real-time updates in case something changes.
That could be cool. And Gina, you said that you should be emailed directly about this.
For now, yeah, that's probably the
okay.
best way. Like, if you just have, like, because my sense is that there's not going to be a huge influx, but I can just help make that connection as the folks who come in contact with this population and start kind of talking to them about them, let them know that this particular hotel resource is available on the South Coast, and if there's an expression of interest and they're willing, like, we'll try to make that connection.
I could see that being a helpful, even just that on like a little quarter sheet flyer that some of us have on hand. And then if we're out in the community and we notice somebody that looks maybe the over age of 60, and it can just be as simple as just handing them a piece of paper with the email address. And that just might be, I don't know if that's oversimplifying it, but it might be a cool way to get more people able to connect with possible folks to help. I'll think about that, because even just a little quick, not pretty quarter page with just the info on it could be useful.
Yeah, let me try to put it. Yeah, let's follow up offline. If it's just a matter of, like, my mind, it was more like, Jeremy, for instance, I know is in contact with people one-on-one, and he knew of someone that's. Is it the best to circulate my email for people out and about? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
Okay, that's valid. That's super valid. Okay.
Especially
I'm thinking about
go on maternity leave.
That makes sense. It has to be soon. Okay, well, regardless, this is all really important information, and so if anybody has details they want harnessed together in some larger communication that I can put onto the IVCN list as well to the Facebook page, and then that other people can share in their networks, just send me anything, and I'm happy to lump it together into one kind of document. And then as the CSD works on their, graphic rendering with their flyer, we can kind of, think about what we want to lump or have at the co-op as like a physical flyer to show. Sounds great.
Could we perhaps put together a small work group to continue this conversation offline a little bit?
Was Katie Maynard helping to run? Wasn't there a call happening? I don't know if that's still actually happening.
Yeah, it is.
Friday? It is.
But I'm wanting to get some more information from Gina, I guess, in the county.
Yeah, and for the record, Katie's calls occur on Wednesdays at 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gina, do you know
there interest?
Possible?
I'm happy to answer questions. I do not have scheduling capacity to be part of a work group at this time, unfortunately.
Okay. And is there anyone else on staff that would be able to kind of communicate to like within a work group kind of process?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the very last sentence of that.
Is there, if you're not part of the work group, is there anyone else in the county that has the information necessary that could help disseminate this information to a work group?
Yeah, I think there is a county task force or work group meeting on this regularly, and so I'm not part of that, but I get information from that to facilitate that. So, this exists.
Okay. Is there a way that members of the group or IVCN or others that work with the houseless could be part of that task force?
I believe there already is. I will find out more.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy, me and Katie and Emily Allen are on that, including Spencer and Ethan as well.
Okay. So could I, with you, Katie and Emily, perhaps, could I join in and be part of that conversation?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Jonathan, you just mentioned that you, Katie and Emily Allen are part of that task force. Is there a way I could be part of that group or a smaller group, the three of you, and be part of that conversation?
Yeah, I think that's what the Wednesday calls are. You know, the Wednesday at 3 p.m., it usually happens right after the task force. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's like the group that's been talking about homelessness in IV.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions for Gina about county updates? And it sounds like there's interest in just ongoing conversation about houseless community advocacy, so we can definitely make sure to share that information and then make sure we're sharing the right call time for the Wednesday call that's happening also. Does that sound good to everyone?
Sounds good. This is Aaron. I have a question for Gina. Did you say you're going on maternity leave?
Yep.
Hey, congratulations.
Woohoo!
Sorry, I just want to make sure I heard that clearly.
If I have a word of advice, unsolicited, don't get pregnant in a pandemic. I mean, technically I was pregnant before the pandemic, but...
You are one of very many I have so many friends pregnant and having babies during this pandemic right now. It's crazy. So I hope that you're feeling healthy and safe. What a time. Are there any other questions for Gina before we move along? Okay. Gina, thank you for such a great, thorough update. I think that you've become a star feature of these calls, and I really appreciate getting to have you every week giving us this amount of information. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Yes. And then
likewise.
Yes. Our awesome teleconference where we're all here somewhere. So I know that Joanna from Health and Wellness is on the call, and she emailed me about making an update. So I think I'll move to Joanna, and then we can open it up for other updates from folks. Does that sound good? Say yes.
That sounds good to me.
Great. Joanna, go for it. Take it away.
Okay. All right. So, so this is Joanna from Health and Wellness at UCSB, and I just wanted to give an update that Health and Wellness, as well as, and I don't mean to give this announcement for anybody from AS if they are on this call, but I just happen to know that we're in contact with Associated Students, and we're both buying $6,000 worth of face coverings to distribute, and that's to distribute, period. And so on behalf of Health and Wellness, I just wanted to put it out to this committee that we're going to have these. I don't know how soon we're going to have them, but we're looking to figure out ways to get them into the Isla Vista community. They don't have to be just for students. They can be for, anybody in the community. So anyway, do you have any thoughts? Is there any focal points that we can get them to that would be good distribution places?
We have the, hi, this is Leonor. We have the food distribution, emergency food distribution on Tuesdays, 10 to 12. So we have, this past Tuesday, we served 180 individuals, about 75 bags. So if you were able to bring any on Tuesdays, that would be great.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Gina again from Food Not Bombs. If there was like a small number, like maybe between 20 and 50 that could be donated to Food Not Bombs, we have a lot of people asking for those. That'd be great.
Okay, that's great. I have Jeremy's contact information on that. You said about 50?
Yeah, I think that would hold us over for a while, and Jeremy's perfect for that.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, we could use them on our Wednesday, Friday homeless service center at the 12:30 to 2:30.
I'm sorry, who was that?
This is Jonathan from I Love It's the Community Services District, and we gave out about food to like 40 meals yesterday, so something like that would be good.
Okay.
The co-ops can use more reusable masks. We don't need to be prioritized for them. We're just trying to get more so that workers don't have to wash their masks every day. So if there's extra reusable masks, we would definitely be happy to take some. In theory, we could be a place to distribute if customers want a mask, but we are trying to minimize how much interacting we do with people in the store. So if there was a way to have masks outside on the patio and have like a human with distance, with the appropriate distance, like offering masks, that could be a thing. But
I think we were hoping that we could drop them off with zero human contact, and they could be, like Lori was saying, Melissa, that there's a table where you have hand sanitizer, and that maybe they could be there. But you think that you'd need a human attached to it to distribute?
I think it depends on where. I think that we're seeing people be reasonably self-aware of their distancing, and I think if there is really good signage at the table, that could be good, just to make sure people don't obviously cluster around the table. I would not be opposed to us trying it at the store. I could ask the team what they think. I'm just keeping an eye on it and seeing how it would go. If you want to have a central, just open distribution like that.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I mean, you were kind of my first thought, but that gives me some context to think about.
Yeah.
This is Lori from IVYP. I've also begun asking for masks that we can distribute with our food distribution, and I know a number of our children's center families are also looking for masks. So we would happily take more and distribute more if we can source more.
Okay, thanks, Lori. Lori, I thought that is that separate from Leonore, or are you two? I thought that she was part of IVYP.
No, that's a whole separate organization. So we happily collaborate, but totally different organizations.
Oh,
Leonore
thanks for clarifying.
The St. George Youth Center is part of the YMCA, and I Love It's the Youth Project, so it says youth, is more of a children and family serving organization. So I know.
Okay, great, thank you.
I think Melissa threw me with IVYP the last time, which is fine.
Did I?
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay, and then is there any other, just in general, is there any other, like I was thinking also establishments, like I went into Habit the other day, and so I can reach out to the Habit, but do you know of any other businesses that, I'm not going into Isla Vista all that often right now, so I don't know what's open, but is there any other recommendations for establishments that we could offer them to?
There was a great post that the Bottom Line did on Instagram the other day. They did a map of all the open restaurants and businesses.
Oh, great.
So it's on their Instagram or on their website, and it was a really slick, consolidated effort of sharing open business. So that could be useful.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be in touch. I unfortunately, the order is placed, but I don't have information on the timing of it. I just wanted to kind of get this ball rolling, so I'll be in touch directly.
Awesome. Thank you for offering this. And also, for others looking for masks, there was a great article in The Independent, either yesterday or the day before, about the mask making, like the different pods of humans making masks and other pathways to get more donated masks. And so it could be that if Joanna's resources get tapped, this is a really good, that I would just recommend to look at The Independent. I think it was yesterday. I can't remember. But there's an email address that you can send to, and they will be like a pathway to a human that's actually volunteering time to make masks across the county. And there's at least one person in Goleta I know that has time to make masks, so that could just be another direct line in if others are looking and we exhaust this resource. Any other questions or thought about masks before we move? Okay. I now want to open this up. We have 30, 45 minutes left, and I know we have law enforcement on the call. We have other CSD folks. Does anybody have updates that they want to offer to the group? Any law enforcement, if you have anything, that's always fun. We've lost
Justin.
all the law.
Justin said he had to jump off the call, but I don't have anything. This is Derek from UCPD. But if you guys have questions for Justin or for UCPD, I can field those and forward those to my team or to Justin.
How's the general? Oh, sorry, go. Somebody else go.
Oh, this is Doug from CESA. I just have a couple of CESA activity updates or event updates.
My one question for Derek before we move to that update is, how has it been looking out in Isla Vista in terms of pods of people hanging out together as the weather's gotten warmer? I know the Beloved community is working on some really cool banners and languaging about distance and staying home, but have you guys noticed a big uptick on the beaches and stuff?
So this has actually been a pretty recent conversation for us, as there's been a good amount of confusion of if the beaches are open or not. So we learned yesterday that the university has officially closed its beaches, but the enforcement of that has been pretty difficult. So I think the biggest issue that we've seen is making sure that as people are trying to find out what to do, that a lot of them are ending up at the beach and ending up in groups, and we're trying to communicate like, hey, this is closed, but it's also hard to prevent that because they don't find out it's closed until they get to the beach, and then we have to figure that out. So that's probably been one of the biggest challenges for us. So right now our team's in the midst of having conversation of what's it look like to create messaging on our end that we can put out more clearly of what's open, what's allowed, what's not allowed. So that's been a big issue for us. And then I can just speak even personally, as I've noticed in the evenings, because it's warmer, a lot of people are hanging out in their front yards, and even some people are still having parties in their front yards. So that's also a big challenge for us. But kind of like Justin said last week, it's one of those situations that we have to take case by case. But that's currently what we're seeing.
So just to hop in and answer, this is Lisa with KCSB. So say if you're walking on the beach and it's like two people walking and people are socially distancing, that should be okay, right? It's when people pitch an umbrella and are sitting in groups that they might be asked to move on.
Right, yeah, that would be correct.
Thank you.
Was there an official announcement by UCSB they closed their beaches?
No, so that was the issue that we were facing, was that they didn't put out an official statement, and so we were having conversations internally of like some officers didn't think the beach was closed, some did, and that caused some issues. So we're in the process of clarifying all of that.
Okay. And it's not we're not just referring, because we got and actually a lot of media interest countywide about Campus Point. There's some fencing put up at Campus Point for a stair improvement construction project that had nothing to do with beach access.
Right. So that's been the main issue that we're running into. Yeah.
Okay.
The main issue there is that it's the construction company's responsibility and liability to control what's happening in their area, and there's a lot of surfers that are trying to go around the construction company's fencing to get to the beach, and that's where we're in conversation with the university of how to address that most effectively.
Okay, yeah, I just emailed Kirsten Deschler because that would be helpful, because our county actually specifically has left all of its beaches open. Our neighboring counties closed them and then have since reopened given the heat wave, and so this is actually a really, to hear an announcement that UCSB has closed off its beaches is actually a very critical thing. So hopefully they didn't, but clarification will be needed because county residents it's going to create a lot of confusion. And so if they don't have a press release or some other clarifying information to go along with it, this is going to be very, very difficult.
I can push this straight up to my lieutenant, and he can get a clear statement from the university, and I can get that back to the community and to this network.
That would be very helpful, yeah, because it's going to just push people, like, as a policy decision, like I said, our beaches have stayed open, so it's going to cut off a significant portion of coastline, and so it's going to push people closer together in other parts as the rest of the counties and cities' beaches remain open. Okay, yeah.
And this is Leonor.
Yeah.
At Darrell Park, yesterday around 2, there was about 10 to 12 people or college students. They set up a tarp and were doing like a slip and slide. But Ivy, our PD ranger, was able to come out right away and let them know that they can't be doing that. But I wonder if they were over here because they couldn't go to the beach or whatnot. But anyhow, there's a big group outside in the park yesterday.
Oh my God, nobody should be doing joint slip and slide together right now. It's a disaster for spreading the disease.
Yeah.
I will get my lieutenant on this issue, and I'll get his statement back to you guys. I'll email Melissa to send to the group.
Perfect. See, always an interesting update from law enforcement, even when there's not really an update. Thank you, guys. Any other questions or comments for law enforcement before we move along? Okay, let's go to Bianca and Stessa for their updates.
Thank you. So Bianca with Stessa, I just want to invite everyone. We're having a Zoom self-defense class this weekend. It's a two-parter because usually they're 4 hours long, but we went ahead and broke them down. So it's this Saturday from 10 to 12, and then also this Sunday from 10 to 12. It is a free class if folks commit and attend both. If they don't, then there is a charge. But to register, you can go ahead and give me a call or shoot me an email, DM us on Instagram, and we can go from there. And then I will go ahead and register you. Also, Denim Day is next Wednesday on the 29th. And on that day, we're asking folks to wear denim and then post a picture of them wearing denim on any of their social media platforms, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And if they post a picture and they tag us, they will be entered into a raffle. And for folks that may not be familiar with Denim Day, we wear denim in order to protest the myth that clothing is consent. So where it came from is in 1999, in Italy, the Supreme Court overturned a rape conviction because the survivor was wearing denim, and kind of what the way they rationalized it was denim is hard to take off, so there had to be some help from the survivor to take it off, and for that reason it was consent. And as we know, clothing is not consent, and also a lot of survivors, there isn't a right way to respond to sexual assault. So survivors may say, in order to survive this moment, to get through this moment, I will just go along with the situation. But again, that's not consent either if there wasn't any affirmative consent. So for that reason, we wear denim on that day in April. If anyone is still looking to collaborate, we still have a couple more weeks in April, or maybe if you're looking into May. We're, again, trying to be very active on social media, so we want to collaborate and reach out to folks. Melissa, Wendy, and I were looking to collaborate for Anti-Street Harassment Week, which is this week, maybe for an event tomorrow. I know it's a bit last minute, but if you have time to talk today, would that be possible?
Maybe just email me and we can see
Sure.
what you're asking. That'd be great.
Awesome, yeah. Do you want me to email the general one or the co-op one?
The co-op one. Yeah, the co-op one's perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So if y'all have any questions, again, you can go ahead and contact us or DM us, whatever is best.
Thanks, Bianca. If you can send me info about the self-defense class, I can put it,
Sure.
if there's a Facebook event or whatever, I can link it so everybody can see.
Awesome. All righty. Thank you.
That's a great idea for Zoom. That's great. Okay. It's 12:30. Does anybody else on the call have an update? It doesn't have to be COVID related, but it can be.
Hi, this is
Whoa, hey everybody, cool. Let's try to figure it out one person at a time. Try it now.
Okay, I'll go. Hi, everybody.
You go. Whoever that.
This is Kimberly Kiefer with the Isla Vista Recreation and Park District. I hope everybody is doing well. I just wanted to encourage everybody to continue to attend our board meetings. They're every other week on Thursdays. I want to support our team that has been doing a great job under really dire straight situations in our park, and thank you everybody for being advocates and supporting each other in the parks. It's nice to hear that slip and slide story is great. I will pass that on to Marcy as a shout out. And I just wanted to say thanks to Leonore and the group that we've been working on the Heart campaign and really making sure the 6 feet apart but we're still at Heart, and just really want to encourage people to support that, as well as I'm really excited about the Sexual Awareness Day. We're definitely going to be wearing denim on that day, and we'll be doing some social media with that as well. And just wanted to just say a general thanks to everybody. We're here to help. We're trying to support every need of all the residents, which is really challenging, and remind everybody that, feel free to reach out via phone or email if you need any support or clarification or questions. Just a general run of everything for the most part. All of our parks are still open. We're trying to keep them open and have, acceptable social distancing and use for exercise and, for all of our pieces of mind. And we are also, have closed things that are challenging, like playground equipment, other things like that, become more of a concern around touch with the COVID and spread of COVID. So, anyway, I just wanted to put that out there and just say thanks and hello, and I hope everyone's well. That's my update.
Thanks, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say when the next Thursday meeting is? Is that this Thursday?
Yeah, there's a board meeting tonight, and then they're every other 2 weeks.
And
you can find that information if you'd like online, or you can always shoot us an email, and we can make sure you're on our listserv. But I just wanted to remind everybody that, we're here, and as essential workers, we're doing our best that we can under the circumstances to support everybody. So feel free to reach out if you have questions or concerns.
Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
calling in also.
Absolutely.
Crazy time to be just joining as a GM, but from what I've heard, you're doing an incredible job. Your team feels very supportive. So Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thanks for that acknowledgement.
Yeah, totally amazing.
Thank
and
you.
also let us know as your neighbors if we can do anything too.
Just going to the co-op almost on a daily basis is so grounding for me, so I really appreciate that. And just to connect with people, even though from afar, it feels really, really grounding. So thank you, everybody.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah. Who goes next? There's a few people that tried to give an update.
I was actually going to...
Great.
When I was breaking in earlier, it was actually to request if somebody from the Park District was on the call, and that ended up happening. I will note that the meetings for the Park District have had some rather meaty discussions over the course of the last few months, and so I've been really enjoying being on those calls and having an opportunity to provide input on things, and I hope other people might join. They have a continual discussion, which is of what to do about the increasing number of people who are now living in the parks and trying to figure out how to best balance things.
Yes, that is that. Thank you. Is it Jeremy, or I'm not sure who that was?
Jay Freeman.
Oh, Jay. Hi, Jay. Thank you for that. Yeah, please come and join us, join the conversation. If you're unable to join us, you can always send in an email. But we're trying to do. I'm coming from a really compassionate place around best practices, making sure people are healthy, and being from the Bay Area, spending the last 14 years, not from the Bay Area, I'm from here, but spending the last 14 years in the Bay Area, I'm very familiar with a lot of the complex issues that are around houselessness, and we have that as a standing agenda item to make sure that we're trying to provide all the best services to our population right now that's most vulnerable. So thank you.
Awesome. Is there anybody else on the call that has an update?
Hey, this is Gina from Food Not Bombs again. I'll make this quick. I have been trying to ask the people we serve kind of like what their general things that they would want, because on a lot of these calls, people always ask us, like, what do the people you serve need? And some basic items that I think could be helpful if you guys know of anyone who's donating these things. Masks, definitely. Glad Joanna brought that up today. Something else, backpacks and tote bags. I know that there's been some chatter about the parks getting cluttered, and I think by maybe passing out more types of like transportable storage containers like bags and backpacks and tote bags could be useful if anyone knows how to get donations of those. Somebody else recommended flashlights, like small ones, and also blankets, although I'm not sure how relevant that is now that it's getting really hot. Also, so that's for the people we serve. For Food Not Bombs itself, we are always looking for N95 masks. I know they're really hard to come by right now, but we are only letting people volunteer who have them. So if anyone knows anyone who has even just a couple of them, like 2 to 5 of them, would really increase our volunteer capacity, and that would be great. Thank you.
Does Food Not Bombs you guys have a wish list posted on the GoFundMe page or wherever you're harnessing donations? Or is there a wish list?
No, we don't have that. That's a really good idea, though.
You should have a wish list. That would help us because then we know what you wish for.
Yeah, we can put that. We have a call, like the volunteers have a call this weekend. I'll bring that up.
Cool. Anyone else on the call have an update? I'll give a quick co-op update. We have officially opened co-op curbside to the wider community as of yesterday. So you don't have to be a co-op owner now to take part in our curbside service. I did a big post. It's boosted on the internet. We're also offering delivery for those most vulnerable that are homebound. That's not through curbside. That's through myself and my partner. So if you have a need or you know somebody that has a need, you can just email my general manager email address, and we're working on that just to support those that really can't leave their homes. So that's pretty exciting. People seem thrilled. And that, again, that email address link is on our social media and on the website. Co-op is still open, pretty well stocked. We've been really grateful for so much kindness from the community. And in terms of people shopping at the co-op, we've seen most of our younger shoppers be pretty supportive. Most people are shopping with face coverings on, which is great. We've pretty much gotten everybody to wear shoes, which is a huge win. So it feels like, as much as maybe some pockets of the community are going a little lighter on how they hang out together, at least in our business, we're seeing a lot of people really honor our commitment to doing this right. So that feels exciting. Our other big change of the week is that we finally did close the bulk department to self-service. We were kind of hanging on till the very end, but we're still selling bulk. We're packing it down. It's been horrible because it's, the 50th anniversary of Earth Day this week, and instead of being zero waste, we've had to put everything in plastic. And we've also stopped reusable bags, which is a big one that we're trying to share widely. So if you bring your reusable bag, you have to load it yourself, but you just have to walk your groceries out in a shopping cart or in a handbasket. So we're happy for you to load your own groceries. We just can't have you do it in the store because it's clogging the lines because people go too slowly, and then we have a population crunch issue. So those are our big updates. I'm posting grocery store updates via our social media and website regularly if anybody is a co-op shopper wanting to stay connected to these changes. And we thank everybody for their patience and kindness as we have adapted every day to a new set of requirements. I'm really proud of our team. And if you are shopping in the store, give a big ups to one of the workers because the floor crew has been working their butts off. And it's mostly college students and high school students. And so that's a pretty big deal to be doing this on this crazy level of health and safety requirements and having some of these workers be 16 years old. It's pretty impressive. So that's the co-op update. Oh, we also are still in board elections. If you're an owner, please vote for your board. It is not a contested election, but it's still a vote of confidence. You received an email about this. You also got a postcard. If we don't have an email address, the postcard is to make this accessible if you are not internet friendly. So you have a mechanism to vote over the phone if you want to cast your ballot. Any questions?
This is Aaron. No questions about the co-op. Thank you for that update, Melissa.
Great.
But is Gina from Food Not Bomb still on?
Yes, I am.
Could you email me, aaronjones@ucsb.edu? I may have some masks for you.
Awesome. Is it Aaron, Aaron?
That's correct, like the brother of Moses.
Thank you so much. I'll email you right now.
Okay, thanks.
Woo, network. Okay.
Thanks, Aaron.
Anybody else? Yeah. Does anybody else have an update that they want to share with the time that we have left? Or, great, we can end our call a little bit early, which might be nice for those that are on many calls today. We will keep up with our weekly call until it feels no longer useful. And so far, I have a couple options. I guess I'll take a straw poll. If we want to move to Zoom, would that be more favorable for the people on the call? I have a couple of folks, Erin at UCSB and Viviana, that have offered, and Joanna Health and Wellness, that have big Zoom accounts. I do not have that, but if we want to move to a Zoom, we can. How do the people on the call feel about that? Would it be better? Less fun? Thoughts?
Probably better because there's a chat function.
Uh-huh. I can see that.
Yeah, the chat function.
Should we try for next week to move to a Zoom so we can support having the chat function, which could be very helpful for this call?
That sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good
So,
to me too.
Great. That's awesome. So I will work with somebody wonderful from UCSB or somebody that has a big Zoom that wants to just offer it up, and I will send out the new call information. And we will go Zoom, and we will chat, and it will be fantastic.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody.
We have one too. We can offer.
You have one too. Great. Maybe we'll just use the CSD one since it's Isla Vista. I appreciate everybody that's offered support with this, and also your patience with our large teleconference. I think it's hilarious to be doing it this way, and I also think that a Zoom would make it less stressful. So with that, we will see you next week. If you have a camera, we'll see your face, or we'll see you on the chat. Thank you, everybody. Get social distance.
Thanks, everyone.
You guys are amazing. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.